Today I'm going to talk about the recent Level Up Showcase event that happened this past Sunday. I'm going to give you guys some highlights, but also the reaction of the main event featuring Chuck Mercer versus Remy Morgan, the Best of 7 series. I'm also going to talk about my opinion, review, and thoughts of NXT's very first televised show that happened this past Wednesday. Also, there'll be talk about the Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Championship that I've been keeping track ever since Puma King won that one. So, you guys need to go get a cold one, and welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up. 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 Get up, get up.
Alright, so welcome everybody. This is J-Rod here talking to you guys. So I apologize that Nico wasn't here today. He had something personal that he had going on, so he sends his apologies, but as the old saying goes, show must go on. So let's talk about the Level Up showcase that happened this past Sunday. Now, as you recall, I talked about this entire month of September. Level Up has been throwing showcase throughout the entire month, every Sunday. There was one that I did not go to, which is the one after the first year anniversary, which was a week and a half ago. But I did manage to decide I want to go to this one because of the main event that was showcased, which featured Chuck Mercer and Remy Morgan, who I'm a fan of from last year. But the entire showcase was great. I did like the tag team match that they had with 8-Bit Litz featuring Michael Hopkins and J2 versus Hunter Freeman and B-Boy. There was matches between Sweet Robin Shaw versus Jason Calhoun. Who else was there? This guy, Super Captain Corona versus Baron. His last name escapes me. But there were other good matches. Of course, I wanted to see Mike Camden, who I'm a fan of. He had great match against Diego Valens. I did not know about Diego Valens, that he was in a good match against AEW star Luchasaurus. I'm trying to see if I can find a video of that. But everything went well. So let me give you guys the highlights of that particular showcase. So here it is. So there you have it. So that's what happened in the showcase this past Sunday. It was ultimately great. I loved it. I enjoyed from start to finish how it goes. I'm not gonna say none of them were a bad match, but there was one thing I decided not to record on my part when Captain Corona basically injured himself. To me, I feel I don't want to record something like this. The reason is I have this moral conscience where I don't want to record any of wrestlers getting hurt, because I don't have experience in this. You see, I'm gonna give you guys the short version. A long time ago, my brother played football in high school. He was facing against my old high school that I used to go to. We both went to separate high schools. A developmental happened down there. Apparently, that one night, their head coach was fired due to a controversial matter that happened. I'm not getting into the details on that. My brother kind of told me to stop recording because nobody was happy. Not happy with how it lost. Not happy with how this thing turned out. To me, when I saw Captain Corona hurt, I just felt like I can't do it. I can't physically record this guy while he's hurt. It's not right on my part. So, hey, you guys, level up. Now you get to know who I really am. And there were other matches that I did enjoy. I did enjoy the match with Mike Camden versus Diego Valens. That was a good one. I mean, of course, Mike Valens is a big dude, and you got a guy like Diego Valens, very short dude. I mean, there's that whole thing, David versus Goliath type of thing. But it was a good one. I'm not going to say it wasn't bad. I love Diego, how he was displaying his athleticism, however you want to pronounce it. Of course, Mike Camden, if you guys don't know, he's like a beast. I've always been a fan of those type of wrestlers that they're like a beast. But there's a reason why he's been proclaimed as El Numero Uno. But the one thing I did like about the showcase was the main event that featured Remy Morgan versus Chuck Mercer, where it was the best of 7 series. Now, let me give you guys a little brief history about this one. This happened months ago, where Chuck Mercer either lost to Remy and then he did not like it, so they were going with the whole best of 7 series. Now, if you guys don't know, what is the best of series? You have to win 4 matches out of 7 matches. So basically, it was like that. I think I might have witnessed a few. I don't remember which ones I missed, but I do know which one I have missed. Was the one a week prior before this one, before the last match, the 7th match. And I knew I couldn't miss this one, so here's what happened. And of course, you're going to get the reaction from everyone.
Don't even talk to me. Don't try and high-five me. Beat his ass! Oh my God!
You sick chump! You sick chump!
After that one.
Well, there you have it. It was a brutal match. I mean, you don't see that every day. Well, you have, but like this, it's like you don't get to witness it up close like I do. I mean, this is why I always go to the showcases at Level Up. I enjoy it more because it helps me appreciate more of the independent scenes. So I want to give congratulations to Morgan on his victory against Chuck Mercer. But of course, I'm still waiting for him to reunite with his partner for Buns N' Roses to take the tag team division by storm, as always. I love watching that too. But if you guys are anywhere in the immediate area of San Diego who love to see this, you can go see it. You can follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But also some of the wrestlers are there on each of those if you want to follow them. So that's it what I got today for you guys on Level Up. But I will throw in more Level Up stuff, and hopefully I can get to go to Ground Zero one of these days. So let's continue on with the show. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is NXT. They just had their very first televised show at the USA Network. Now, I know all of you were getting fed up with me talking about it, but I was only talking about the updates that was happening to NXT. Reason is because there were certain concerns, not because it was televised. There were certain things that were being brought up, like we were told Fox Network has offered to put them on the FS1 channel. It didn't happen. We just found out they were in the USA. They're going to USA, which was kind of bizarre to hear what was going on. And then, of course, we were worried that Vince McMahon is going to get himself involved, which is something we, as fans, did not want. And we have talked about, me and Nico talked about this on countless occasions. NXT is a great brand, and a great brand within WWE. And, of course, it lived up to what it was. Now, let's start with the first match they threw in. It started strong with a fatal four-way match between Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, and what's her name? Mia Yim, and this other person, I forgot her name. This particular match was meant for a #1 contendership for the NXT Women's title, which was totally great. I personally enjoyed the intensity, how this match went. You know, like, there were certain things I was hearing from other news groups, like about Mia Yim, who they felt like she wasn't more well known yet because she's, I don't know, they were talking about her. I mean, I have to say she did great. I'm not gonna say that she's well known. I mean, I have been aware of her from the independent scenes, but it was great, a great match, and of course the victor turned out to be Candice LeRae. I congratulate her on this match. Just hope this turns out. She will face the women's champion Shayna, I can't pronounce her last name either, in 2 weeks' time, so I enjoyed it. Second match was more like a 60-second match. It's Grims versus, forgot the person's name. I don't know. It kind of brought me back to the old days, back when WWE was known as WWF, where we had like wrestlers that got things done less than a minute. And then, of course, the final match before this one, before the first hour ended, was for the North American title, which was at the time being held by Velveteen Dream, who was facing against Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Era. This match was very important, you see, in the story-wise. Leader of the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, had this prophecy that Undisputed Era will obtain all of the gold and have it in their faction. And, of course, it was a really great match to see Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong face off each other. You can see going back and forth, but there was a moment where you see Velveteen Dream was actually hurt. He was in pain. Of course, there are certain times wrestlers want to continue even when they're in hurt. So, sorry about that. The lights don't capture my movement. I try to move as possible with my hands so they can censor it. But anyway, back to the story. It was a great match between Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream. At some point, you see the rest of the Undisputed Era. Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole show up to lend their support, and then they try to interfere in the match. And of course, the results: Roderick Strong won the North American title. And of course, the prophecy has finally fulfilled. And it was a great match. Of course, that's how the first hour happened, but I didn't get to see the second hour because it was on the WWE Network. I don't have that. I never had the intensity to subscribe to them, to pay $10 a month. I mean, to me, it sounds cheap. I'm not going to lie about that. But I fell out of favor with WWE a long time ago. But the reason they only show for 1 hour was because of the series Suits. Right now they're entering at their series finale. By this coming Wednesday will be the last, and hopefully we get to see a full 2 hours of Suits. Now, as you all know, they had great reviews in the first hour. They had about 1 million and hold on, let me pull it up here. No, wrong notebook. Oh yeah, 1,179,000 viewers, which was a great start, for NXT. And of course, the second hour, I didn't see it. Like I said, there were some matches. I was well aware when I was following on Twitter that Leo Rush made his return, who played a good role in the #1 contendership for the Cruiserweight title. Now it seems that 205 Live is now in NXT. Or should I say 205 Live now is canceled. Now all the stars from 205 Live are NXT, which is great. I'm not going to deny that probably it meant to happen that way. But I can tell you this from what I understood. Once the second hour began on the WWE Network, there were reports coming in that 30 minutes into it, the network crashed. And there were fans that were frustrated. They were not happy campers. WWE are well aware. They botched this one. They're not going to lie about that. And it was very frustrating to hear that. But there were, I don't know if you guys can consider this a success for NXT, but I can. But it started out where 3 of their star wrestlers in NXT injured themselves. In this one, I mentioned Velveteen Dream was one of them. We had Arturo Ruas, who was in the match with Pete Dunne. He got injured, and then there was the dark match before that, Kona Reeves. Those 3 guys were injured during NXT's Wednesday night. It was kind of bizarre. But yeah, that's what happened. I have to say it has been a great, successful timing for WWE's NXT. So I just can't wait to see what's going to happen this coming Wednesday. But I am going to have to follow what's going to happen with Candice LeRae when she goes up again for the NXT Women's Championship. So let's just see how this one plays out. All right. You guys have heard me talk about Puma King, who became the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Champion. As you all been aware, he's no longer doing a tour with DDT. Apparently, all of the wrestlers from here in the U.S. and Mexico are on high alert for Puma King because they know what this title is. Now, Joey Ryan did a similar predicament when he first brought that title here to the States. So what happened is Puma King was well aware of this, but he didn't expect how it was going to happen. Now, this happened this past Saturday in Madison Square Garden for AAA. There was a match between Daga and Puma King. Now, Aerostar somehow tricked or kind of bend the rules to Puma King, telling him that since he lost to Daga, automatically that means Daga is the new Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Champion. Puma was like, can't believe that was happening. So basically, they've been going back and forth on this one, and then later, Puma regained the title back from Daga, and then he actually lost it to a little midget named Mascarita Dorada. So he lost it to him, and then Puma King gained it back. It kind of brought me back to when Joey Ryan was doing his thing with the DDT Pro Wrestling title. It was like, I don't know how different this is gonna be between those two because I cannot compare them how they are because each of the stories with this title from when Joy brought it from the time now Puma has it, it's gonna be completely different from what I understood. But I am very curious how long does this go back because I know Puma King will have to go back to DDT, do another tour. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to it. So we'll just see how this one. Hopefully, his 9 lives can last him forever. All right, so right now let's continue with MLW. Now, I'm not going to talk a whole lot because there was one particular match in the latest pay-per-view they had. War Chamber was more important to look at. I'm talking about the War Chamber match between Contra Unit versus the Von Erichs, Tom Lawler, and Low Ki. Now, this particular match was very important to the Von Erichs. If you guys know the history of the Von Erichs, these guys are Texas by blood. It all dates back to Fritz Von Erich and his sons, Kevin, Dave, Gary, Chris, and Mike. Of course, you have Kevin Von Erich, the last surviving member of the 5 brothers. Of course, Kevin has been dealing with the loss of his brothers ever since then. They moved to Hawaii, but now his sons, Ross and Marshall Von Erich, are stepping up the plate to continue the family legacy. Now, this match was becoming like a war story between the two. Now, let's talk about which is the factors between the two factions, or that type of thing. Contra Unit, they are the type of people that, in the story wise, are going, we're gonna burn down everything that gets in their path, and nothing will stand in their way. That type of scenario. And then they have attacked Tom Lawler on multiple occasions, and not only that, they are currently have the MLW World Heavyweight title hostage. Jacob Fatu actually is the current champion, and he holds that with pride. And of course, that's how the whole story goes. And then you got on one side the Von Erichs and Tom Lawler. Now, Von Erichs are more of the honorable team that you guys know. They're always play by the rules. They're very athletic and strong for what they can do. They have done that when they display that with Pro Wrestling Noah and one of an Israeli promotion. And of course, their bloodline, where they're from. And they teamed up with Tom Lawler, who has the same kind of characteristics with them. And then, of course, we didn't know who would be their 4th man until it was later Low Ki. Now, the terms were people didn't know, can Tom Lawler and Von Erichs trust Low Ki? Because there was no surprise that Low Ki used to be champion, and Tom Lawler and Low Ki were in a battle between who was going to be the World Heavyweight Champion. So, but Low Ki got involved because the last time he got into Contra's face, they attacked him while Selena De La Renta and Ricky Martinez just left him there. You know, when Contra Unit attacked, and Low Ki did not like that. Now, how did this War Chambers works? Well, if you guys ever been fans of WCW, saw the War Games, it's kind of like that. So basically, you start out with 2 people from each team, but whoever gets coin toss is the one that gets the numbers game, and the winners of the coin toss was Contra Unit. So they had Simon Gotch be the first entrance. Now, on the other side, Von Erichs, we see Marshall Von Erich come out, but he didn't come alone. He brought his father, the legendary and Hall of Famer Kevin Von Erich, which was great because this pay-per-view is taking place in Dallas, Texas, and of course, Texas always welcomes the Von Erichs because they're, Texas people. They're from there. It's like their hometown, that type of thing. So of course it started with them, and then of course it goes with 5 minutes before they jump into have the next person from the Contra Unit to get the numbers game, and the person that jumps in was Joseph Samael. you know how that goes. And then the next entrance for the Von Erichs is Tom Lawler. Then we go with another numbers advantage. We have Jacob Fatu, and then of course after that we had Low Key, then Ikuro Kwan, then Ross Von Erich. Now, everything goes well in a match, how it goes. Out of nowhere, near the end, you see some masked guy showed up out of nowhere who looks more like a Contra Unit soldier. And then, of course, Kevin Von Erich didn't like that. He stopped him, and of course, he gave him the infamous claw. And he stopped the soldier from interfering to ensure that Contra Unit did not win. And it's so great to see Kevin, like, he looks more like he hasn't missed a beat at all. And the whole thing ended where Marshall Von Erich pinned Gotch with the victory, and it turned out great. Of course, they were out celebrating it because they were in Texas, and Texas has been considered in the wrestling world the Von Erich's country, that type of thing. But I don't know if they're going to still continue with the story between Contra Unit and the Von Erichs at war with each other. Who knows? I mean, I've always been a fan of those type of stories where you have different factions facing each other, and that's always been I'm always been a huge fan of that. But we'll just see how it goes for the upcoming Fusion episode, and hope you guys can enjoy more of MLW. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so normally I have Nico with me for this particular segment where we have involving New Japan, when we talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's more caught on with it more than me, but I try every effort on my part to catch up. So recently we had the Road to Destruction, all the way to Destruction in Beppu and Kagoshima. Yeah, that's two of the destruction events they have. Now, if you guys ask yourselves why they call it Road to Destruction, well, it's because it leads to the actual the kind of like their pay-per-view. They normally have it on smaller venues that dates back all the way to September 4th, all the way to September 14th. Now, 15 and 16, that's when they had the two destruction shows in Beppu and Kagoshima. So let's give out the results that happened in Beppu and destruction there. So let's start with the Line Cup league match. We had Carl Fredrickson of the LA Dojo versus Yota Tsuji. I'll try to catch up for that, and that's a great start. Now we're seeing the two different Young Lion brands coming up. So now the second one, we had Alex Coughlin versus Shota Umino, as we know him through John Moxley, Shooter. And then third match, we had Yuji Nagata, Taguchi, and Nenrita and Yuna Umera versus Michael Richards, Clark Connors, Toa Hanare, and Manabu Makanishi. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And then we have, for the fourth match, we had Suzuki-gun and New Japan and Chaos. So we had New Japan and Chaos, Yushin Thunder Liger, Yo and Sho against Suzuki-gun's Minoru Suzuki, Kanamura, and Doiki. And of course, I just heard that from this particular, that Yushin Thunder Liger wants a piece of Suzuki. This is going to be one brutal match. I just can't wait to see it, you know what I mean? Let's see. We had a 10-man tag team match. We had Chaos versus Bullet Club, and the winners are Bullet Club, Kenta, Bad Luck Fale, Yujiro, Ishimori, and El Fantasma. Versus from the Chaos side, we had Kota Ibushi, Togi Makabe, Humna, Osprey, and Eagles. Now keep in mind, I did talk about the Birds of Prey, Robbie Eagles and Will Ospreay facing Bullet Club's Taiji Shimori and El Fantasma for the IWGP Tag Team Championship. So I will talk about that more in a bit on this segment. 6th match, we had Rocky Romero and Goto and Okada losing to LIJ, Nico's favorite stable faction, against Sanada, Takagi, and Bushi. So I know Nico would be happy to hear that he loves to hear that these guys win, because right now we're going to the time where Sanada wants a piece of Okada for the title. So that's the reason it's going to be a good one. And then 7th match, we had more members of LIJ. Naito and Evil defeated Chase Owens and Jay White. So now let's go to, I think this is the semi-main event. We had a 16-minute time limit for the IWGP Tag Team Championship. GOD got the Guerrillas of Destiny versus members of Chaos, Ishii and Yoshihashi. We had, of course, GOD taking the victory on this one. I would have liked to see Yoshihashi finally getting a title. He has been, some people considered him as underrated, but he has been going through. Last time he was injured about a year ago, but now he's back. I hope they get a push. And now the main event. This one was for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. The champion at the time was Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. If you recall, Zack Sabre Jr. lost the title to Tanahashi at Royal Quest. And of course, Zack was not too pleased with the results. So that was what happened in Destruction in Beppu. Now let's go to the one in Kagoshima. So let's see how the results on this one turns out. First match, of course, continuation of the Young Lion Cup. Clark Carnison and Unimura. Unimura beat Clark Connors. And then we had Ren Narita defeated Michael Richards. Not bad for the New Japan dojo to beat the LA dojo. Third match, we had Nakanishi and Hanare, Fredericks, and Coughlin defeated Nagata, Taguchi, Shooter, and Yuchi. I hope I pronounced it right. So I'll catch up to this match, see how it goes. And then 4th match, we had Chaos over Bullet Club. So let's see who was involved. We had Ishii, Yoshihashi, Yo, and Sho defeating Chase, Fale, Tonga, and Tama. I guess it's payback for what happened in Beppu. We had Yushin Thunder Liger, Humna, Makabe, Tanahashi over Suzuki-gun, Doiki, Kanamura, Suzuki, and Zack Sabre Jr. So the story continues with them. 6th match, Chaos, Rocky Romero, Goto, and Okada over LIJ, Bushi, Takagi, and Sanada. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. 7th match, LIJ, Naito, and Evil over Bullet Club, Yujiro, and Jay White. And I think this is the main event, the one I've been waiting for. And to me, no! Bullet Club, El Fantasma, and Nishimori over the Birds of Prey, Eagles, and Osprey for the Junior Tag Team Championships. But it's not over yet. You see, they do have an opportunity because we're not that far off to the Super Junior Tag League that takes place in October. So we're like a week away or so. So I hope the Birds of Prey get their chance to get the hands on these titles. I would love to see those two win it because they have great chemistry, great high flying. That's what I like about them. Now, the final thing I want to talk about in this segment, it's been now told that Jon Moxley wants to face Suzuki-gun. Now, there was a part of me that's been thinking about it, dreaming of it. I would say, make it happen. Please, make it happen. This is a match we gotta see. This is a match that I would kill for. This is a match that I'll be like, oh my God. That's me right there. Because if you never see Minoru Suzuki, he is like a monster. You punch him, he gives you that look like he wants you. Punch him again. And then once you're done, he's done, watching you punching him. He'll give you that strong punch. You're like, ugh. So, that's me right there. Please make it happen, New Japan. Make it happen. I know he's injured. Make it happen. So that's it for now. Just leave a comment below about that. Please, I need the answers. Alright, so as you all know now, it appears that the war between WWE and AEW is now officially started, as we all assume. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I have talked about NXT. Apparently, shots have been fired on two different ways. One, during NXT's live broadcast, somehow, some way, they put the AEW on commercial during NXT. Now, we don't know if this was intentional or it was just a coincidence. We don't know. I don't know how this thing with television works because, to be honest with you, I can't speak on that. But I know this is not good. I know that many WWE fans will be upset with him, upset with AEW for doing this. And of course, there's the other problem that happened. Kenny Omega mentioned something. Now, he has nothing against WWE, but he just doesn't like how they're considering the NXT guys as the developmental talent. They're still because that's how it worked for 5-6 years or so, where the NXT wrestlers, before they go into the main roster, they were in the development, training how to do things done right. Kenny mentioned how all the AEW wrestlers are all real stars because they don't have that type of thing where they have an NXT doing their own developmental talent type of thing. And of course, Cody mentioned that they have no interest of doing that. They said they are going to allow some of the wrestlers be participating in the independent scenes. It's like their way of development, that type of thing. So basically, right now, some WWE fans don't like what Kenny or what AEW has been doing right now. I mean, we can go back. This dates back all the way to WCW when we had that issue where WWE invaded WCW. If you recall, it was DX that did that. But let me give you guys my honest opinion about this war. The reason this happened was because Vince McMahon will not tolerate another promotion stealing his thunder. You see, let's go back to 2 years ago, or 3, somewhere around there. Cody Rhodes left because he wanted out of the Stardust gimmick. And of course, WWE said no. He wanted to be part of the main card. They said no. And of course, once he made the decision he wanted to leave, they even tried to give him a good offer. He turned that down. They say this to him, good luck in your future endeavors. I think they're saying because they think he was not going to succeed. Now, out of nowhere, when Cody was becoming more popular, ever since he joined Bullet Club, that's when Vince started to question everything. He started to say to himself, how is it that these guys are popular? You need a company to do that. You need that. Well, Cody is now proof that you don't need a wrestling company to make you the star. You just got to make yourself the star. So that's one of the few things that Vince will not tolerate, because he felt that it's like, I make you the star, not yourself. That type of thing. It's always been that issue that I've always looked at. Like, Vince doesn't understand. Times have changed. Things are changing, and he will not accept. Some people can say he's an old fart, if you believe that. I'm just saying, to me, when I look at Vince, I think of him, he's a dictator. He's out of touch with today's wrestling, with wrestlers from different independent promotions, and this and that. He doesn't value those who are great talent. That's what I don't like about Vince. I mean, he is a business genius. Because it makes sense, because he's kind of like, he's friends with Donald Trump. They both think alike. But certain things now, we don't agree with him. And then ever since the All-In event, Vince knew he had to sign these guys, but it didn't happen. Basically, they formed their own promotion, which led to All Elite Wrestling. Now, Vince is the kind of guy who will not tolerate. Now, there's another story to this that came out about a week ago. Triple H meant to saying that NXT has always been an alternative. I could say yes, but I'm saying, are there like an alternative within WWE? Because you gotta remember, WWE has SmackDown, Raw, NXT, NXT UK, and NXT has been an alternative, but that's only under the WWE banner. That the WWE banner. That's what always I see it. But we'll just wait and see how this one plays out. I don't know. We just gotta get ready for whatever shots will be fired. So let's see what happens. Alright, the last thing I want to talk about, we have talked about this guy on a few occasions on previous episodes. We're talking about the villain, Marty Scurll. Now, you ask yourselves, why am I talking to him now? Now, let's go back a few months ago, since the start of the year. When we learned that the Elite were leaving, Marty Scurll still has a little bit time in his contract with ROH, while the Bucks, Omega, and Cody and Hangman all went to AEW. And from what we told, Marty was still got to April, and then we were told June, September, and now they're telling us that he got to November. Now, there is no denying that WWE has Marty Scurll on their radar. They would like to sign him. Now, the reason, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but there's one thing you got to remember. His girlfriend, Deanna Pizarro, Virtuosa, she's in NXT. And of course, which is a good thing. I mean, we have seen couples together, and it always works. We have Chelsea Green and Zack Sabre Jr. No, not Chelsea Green and and what's his name? Zack Ryder. My bad. I correct myself. And who else? We have Zelina Vega and her husband, Aleister Black. You know, Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano. We have those type of couples that are together. And we have seen that on multiple occasions. So that's one factor we can put in. And then, of course, we have AEW. Now, we know about his relationship with the Elite, that they would love to have him with him. It would complete him being there again be with them one last time, but with another promotion. That's another option that's been open right now. We don't, so that's one right there. And then, of course, we are being told that we don't know yet if Ring of Honor are... I hate this. I really hate that. Anyway, we don't know if Ring of Honor has any interest of re-signing him or give him a new deal. We don't know that yet. But, about a couple weeks ago, Marty Scurll is doing something cool now with Villain Enterprise. They have their own YouTube series on Marty Scurll's YouTube channel called VETV, which stands for Villain Enterprises TV, where you see him, Brody King, PCO, and Flip Gordon all on the same show. Now, on the second episode of VETV, Flip gets fired. Yeah, he gets fired because of the state. And now Marty's considering hiring him. Now, that's not important right now with this. Now, the recent episode, episode 3, that just recently came out a couple of days ago. This is the part that we all need to talk about and have an opinion on. Near the end, he gets a visit from the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis. Now, Nick Aldis is an old friend of Marty, and they've been facing each other time and time again. And, of course, Marty wants that title so badly. Now, this is the part that becomes very interesting. Nick Aldis asked him about his contract status. So, there is no surprise. Now, on previous episodes, I have talked about the NWA, how they're having their own TV series, which is nothing wrong with it. But however, they're still continuing to find new talent to be in their ranks. I heard they just hired some other guy I heard of, but I never seen him wrestle. But, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising that Marty would go with NWA because he's friends with Nick Aldis, and of course he wants that title. But I'm very interested to see how this one plays out because right now we just don't know what's going to happen with Marty once his contract's up. But hopefully things turn out for the best. So we just got to wait and see. But here's what I would say. WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, if you guys are still interested, NWA, all 4 of you guys, if you ever get to watch my YouTube videos, watch any of the DWZ, give him a good offer. Give him a good offer. That's what I would say. And I know they'll try to put whatever offer into the table. We just don't know yet what direction he'll go. So he's going to be on a fork in the road on this one. So, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'm very sorry for the lighting. You know, it's... Normally, if I had Nico here, this would never happen. I'm only one person today. I'm not going to complain about it. You know, I have done this before by myself. I'm not going to complain. So, on behalf of me, J-Rod, and DWZ, I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.